Hi friends, today's lesson is about financial literacy again, and it is 4.10e, and it is talking about the purpose of financial institutions. For example, banks, savings and loans, stock markets, and things of that nature. And it's talking about keeping your money safe, borrowing and lending, and also a little bit about interest. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So what are you going to learn? More about your financial institution, about what borrowing money means, lenders, how to calculate interest. And so at the end of the lesson today, you'll be able to distinguish, well, who is the borrower and who is the lender. And if you're borrowing a certain amount of money or the bank is loaning you a certain amount of money, how to figure out interest. So we're going to go to Go Math, and we're going to go to the lesson 18.5 about financial institutions.
What are the purposes of financial institutions?
Okay, that is the question that we're going to be talking about today, and that is the question that we're going to be solving, is what is the purpose of financial institutions?
Hi! Look, we have a new billboard by the diner, and Taylor is famous. Taylor doesn't use banks, but the owners of the diner do. Hey, do you know what people use banks for?
At this point, I want you to turn and share to the person sitting next to you and talk to them about what do we use banks for? And think about the previous lessons that we had on savings. And I'll give you just a second. Pause the video. Okay, let's answer that question. If you would like to turn and share and talk to each other, raise your hand if you would like to share out. But what are financial institutions for? Okay, let's go on.
Click the billboard to change the ad and see more about the bank's services. Oh, look, the bank has credit cards.
How many of you know what a credit card is or what a credit card is used for? Raise your hand if you would like to share what you think a credit card is used for. Okay, this would be your time to share out with your class. You can pause your video to take the answers, and let's go on.
But what's a credit card? And what's interest? Speaking of interest, all Taylor is interested in is eating leaves. Hey, why don't we find out more about banks and the services they offer? Come on, let's go.
Financial institutions, such as banks and credit card companies, are businesses. They can act as lenders or borrowers of.
Okay, so that's two of the topics that we're going to be talking about, and we discussed just a few minutes ago, and something you're going to understand by the end of this lesson is what is a lender and what is a borrower.
Money. Read each situation. Is the financial institution acting as a lender or as a borrower? Let's unlock this problem. Let's decide if the financial institution is acting as a lender or as a borrower in some different situations. Alex takes out a loan to pay for a car. Is the bank the lender or the borrower?
Okay, if you think that the bank is the lender, Alex has taken out a loan for the car. If you think the bank is a lender, hold up one finger. If you think the bank is a lender or a borrower, hold up two fingers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show me your answer now. Okay, let's hear what they have to say.
When a person takes out a loan, the bank is the lender. Brianna is saving her money to take a fashion design course. Her money is in a bank savings account. Is the bank the lender or the borrower?
Okay, now let's look at this one. She is saving money to take a fashion course. Her money is in a bank savings account. Again, just like we did earlier, if you think that the bank is a lender, you're going to hold up one finger. If you think the bank is a borrower, you're going to hold up two fingers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see what they say.
When a person opens a savings account, the bank is a borrower. The person is the lender. What about this situation? Chloe uses an automatic teller machine to withdraw her money.
Okay, now this one's different. She is going to an ATM machine, automatic teller machine. You've probably seen your parents do that before. Now, she is withdrawing her money. It's her money. Is the bank lending her the money, or is she borrowing the money? Is the bank the borrower or the lender? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Because she is withdrawing her own money, the bank is a borrower and Chloe is the lender.
Okay.
Destiny pays off her credit card. Is the credit card company the lender or the borrower?
Okay, now I want to go back to Chloe's real quickly. It was her money that she was taking out. So the bank was not lending her money. The bank was borrowing it. It was her own money. The same thing here. Destiny pays off her credit card. Okay, so you have to think about what is a credit card. Destiny is paying off her credit card. Okay, is the bank a lender or a borrower?
A credit card is a kind of loan. Destiny is paying back money that was lent to her by the financial institution. Ethan deposits the check he received as a gift into a bank account. Is the bank the lender?
Okay, in this case, this is Ethan's money. He's depositing into his bank account. The bank is not loaning him anything. It's his money. So is the bank a lender or a borrower?
No, the money deposited belongs to Ethan. So in this case, the financial institution is a borrower. Faith takes out a loan to pay for a new roof on her house. The financial institution is a lender in this situation. Gavin uses online banking to deposit his paycheck. Is his bank the lender or the borrower?
Okay, he's depositing his money into a bank. Is the bank lending him something or is it borrowing his money? Again, one of you think the bank is a lender, two of you think it's a borrower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's look and see.
Gavin's own money is being electronically deposited into a savings account, so the bank is a borrower. Hector uses a loan to open a business. Is the financial institution a lender or a borrower?
Now, in this case, they don't say that Hector went to the bank to get the loan. But if he is using a loan to open a business, that means it's not his money. He's getting it from somewhere. So if he is getting it from a bank, let's see, lender or borrower? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the lender. This money does not belong to Hector. The financial institution is lending Hector the money. In 3 of these situations, money is being saved. Money that is put into a savings account is safe, and the bank acts as safekeeper of the money. Brianna, Ethan, and Gavin each deposited money into a savings account. Their banks will keep their money safe. Who borrowed money from a financial institution?
Alex, Destiny, Faith, and Hector borrowed money. So they were lending.
Alex, Destiny, Faith, and Hector all borrowed money. They will pay interest on their loans. Interest is additional money paid by a borrower to a lender in exchange for the use of the lender's money. let's find out how much is repaid to a bank when money is borrowed. To find that amount, you'll multiply the amount of interest for every $100 borrowed by the total number of hundreds. Tyler doesn't have that much money. He can borrow the money from a financial institution to buy the four-wheeler, but he will have to pay interest. How much will Tyler have to repay the bank to borrow the money? Let's unlock this problem.
Okay, so now we're going to be talking about interest and how to figure out interest when you borrow money from a bank.
Tyler's bank has an ad for personal loans. If Tyler gets a loan, the amount he borrows will have to be repaid. Tyler borrows $800. He'll also have to pay the interest on the amount borrowed. So the sum of the loan plus the interest is the total amount Tyler will have to repay the bank. According to the poster, what is the interest rate for a personal bank loan?
Okay, the poster says that there's $10 charged for every $100 that you
It's
borrow.
$10 for every $100 borrowed. So let's calculate the total interest on Tyler's loan.
Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, we know every $100 that Tyler borrows, he's going to pay $10.
He's borrowing $800, and the interest is $10 for every $100 borrowed. There are 8 hundreds in 800. So you multiply 8, the total number of hundreds, by $10, the amount of interest for each $100, which equals $80. Now, let's calculate the total amount Tyler will pay to the bank.
Okay, so now he borrowed $800, and we know he has to pay back $80 in interest.
The loan amount is $800, and the interest is $80. So what's the total amount Tyler will have to pay?
Well, 800 plus 80 equals,
It's $880. So the total amount Tyler will pay for the loan is $880. Let's calculate interest on a loan. Zach gets a loan for $600 from the bank. The interest rate for the loan is $4 for every $100 borrowed. How much will Zach have to repay the bank to borrow the money? Zach will owe the bank $600 plus the amount of interest on $600. First, let's calculate the amount of interest he will pay on the loan.
okay, now think about it. If he's going to pay $4 for every 100, the first thing you have to think about is, well, how many groups of 100 are in 600?
To find that amount, you'll multiply the amount of interest for every $100 borrowed by the total number of hundreds. What's the amount of interest on the loan? Drag the numbers to complete the equation, then check your answer.
Well, it's not going to let me drag it. So we know that the interest is $4. We know that there are 6 groups of 100. So we know that our total is going to be 6 times 4, which equals, and it should equal 24. Yes, it's not going to let me check it.
That's not it. Here's the correct answer.
We got the correct
interest
answer.
equals $4 for every $100 borrowed. 4 times 6 equals $24. Zach will repay the bank the loan amount plus the amount of interest. What's the total amount Zach will repay?
Okay, now let's look at the choices. We've got $24, we've got $600 minus $24 equals $576, or we've got $600 plus $24 equals $624. 1, 2, 3. Think about it. If you think the answer is 1, hold up one finger. If you think it's 2, if you think it's 3. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's right. Zach will pay $600 plus $24, which equals $624. Now, let's practice with the personal math trainer.
Okay, let's go on. if I can get to pull up. Sorry, you have to love technical difficulties. All right. Financial institutions such as banks and credit card companies are businesses. They are in the business of keeping money safe, lending money, and borrowing money. When you open a savings account at the bank is the borrower. So when you open up a savings account, the bank is the borrower. This is an advantage of keeping your money safe. When you take out a loan or the credit card, the bank is a lender. And we're going to have to think about those two things as we work through this. Okay, we're going to read each situation. If the financial institution is acting as a lender or a borrower, we're going to write the letters for each. Alex takes out a loan to pay for a car. Lender or borrower? 1 for lender, 2 for borrower. Show me now. Okay, you are right. The bank is a lender. Brianna is saving to take a fashion design course. Her money is in a bank savings account. Is the bank a lender or a borrower? Show me now. Okay, you're correct. It's a borrower. Chloe uses an automatic teller machine to withdraw her money. It's Chloe's money. Is the bank a lender or a borrower? Show me now. You're correct. The bank is a borrower. Destiny pays off her credit cards. Remember, we talk about credit. It's not money you have. It's money that the bank has loaned you. So, is the bank a lender or a borrower? Show me now. You're right. The bank is a lender. Ethan deposits the check he receives as a gift into a bank account. It's Ethan's money. Is it at the bank a lender or a borrower? Show me now. You're right. It is a borrower. Faith takes out a loan to pay for a new roof on her house. She's taken out a loan. Is the bank a lender or a borrower? Show me now. You're correct. The bank is a lender. Gavin uses online banking to deposit his earnings from work. His money he's depositing. Is the bank a lender or a borrower? Show me now. Okay, you're correct. The bank is a borrower. It's his money. And the last one, Hector uses a loan to open up a business. He's taking a loan. Is the bank a lender or a borrower? You're correct. The bank is a lender. Okay, let's move on. Okay, remember, when you borrow money from a financial institution, you will pay interest on the loan. Interest is additional money paid by a borrower, you would be the borrower, paid by the borrower to a lender in exchange for the use of the lender's money. So let's look at this. And what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to turn with the person sitting next to you and talk about this problem right here. We kind of discussed it, Tyler and his four-wheeler. Think about it. Interest is $10 for every 100 borrowed. So you have to think about what is the interest and how many groups of 100 do you have in that group. So let's go ahead, and we talked about this earlier in the video. So interest is $10 for every 100 borrowed. So he borrowed $400, so 4 times 10 equals 40. Now look at this one right here. Zach gets a loan for $500. The interest rate for the loan is $11 for every $100 borrowed. How much will Zach have to repay the bank? So let's think about this and do this one together. So he's going to have to pay $11 for every 100 borrowed. How many groups of 100 are in 500? You're right, there's 5. So 5 times 11 is 55. He's going to have to pay $55. So what is the total amount he's going to have to pay the bank? Well, we know that he's going to have to pay the bank the loan amount, 500, plus the interest, 55. So he's going to have to pay the bank back $555. Okay, now let's think about this one. Are you the borrower or the lender? When you take out a loan from the bank, you are the borrower, and the bank is the lender. When you put money into a savings account at the bank, you are the lender, and the bank is the borrower. Circle the situations where you might use a financial institution. When would we possibly use a financial institution? How many think we would use it for borrowing money to buy a car? Raise your hand. Okay. How many think you would use a financial institution to let your friend borrow $1? Okay, turn and discuss with your partner what you think about that. What about lending your friends $5? Would you go to a bank or a financial institution if you were loaning your friends $5? What about keeping $200 you earned working safe? Would you use it then? Okay. Ooh, what about taking out a new loan for a house? Okay. What about putting your monthly allowance in a safe place? Okay. You know, these two right here could possibly be, what would be the reasons for it? If you had to go and get your money out of your savings account, then you would go to the financial institution in order to get your money. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. With your partner, I want you to do pages 169, and we're going to float right up here to 169, and we're going to be checking them. So you're going to do this page right here with your partner, and I'm going to give you about 15 minutes to do it. And then when you're finished with that, we're going to go over it, and then you're going to do pages 668 and 670 by yourself. Okay, so let's talk about what our lesson was about today. Our lesson was about what is the basic purposes of a financial institution. And we talked about a bank, a savings and loan place, maybe possibly credit cards, stock market, things like that. Keeping your money safe, giving you a place where you can borrow. They can borrow from you, or you can lend from them. But those are the things that a financial institution does. Basically borrowing and lending, and also how to calculate interest on amounts that we take out as loans from the bank, and also knowing that we have to pay that interest back. So if we take out a loan or we have a credit card or something like that, whatever we pay back, we have to pay back extra. Okay, so today's lesson again is Financial Literacy 4.10E, Purposes of Financial Institutions. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. See you later.